Last time on every hue of you. For as long as we can remember, emotions have contained a special energy. An energy known as chaos. A surge of chaos can even create an outburst. In Zenoa, our city-state founded upon the ancient philosophy of Stoicism, we've had our fair share of struggles with chaos. It's been raining all day, pretty much non-stop.
You! First you charged me out the arse, and now I learned it's all a scam!
And if I was more talented... who is it now? I need you to make me a bracelet.
Do we get to... Yay! We get to make jewelry!
I'm not really here for a bracelet. You're the source of this outburst of chaos energy. And now continuing.
Why do people only ever come to this door when it's closed?
I'm about to chase some poor straggler out for distracting me from Lyle's story when a familiar friendly face enters this door. Uncle! Followed by a familiar, unfriendly face. Oh. Why is he here again? Am I in for another round of torment?
Okay, how do I differentiate his voice? Twyla, you seem to be in lighter spirits today. Am I interrupting something?
No, go ahead. I can wait.
Thank you.
Hey.
I hope you will be able to resolve whatever ails poor Twyla here. Uncle shoots me a concerned glance before continuing.
I feel like their voices are too similar, but like it feels like it's the only thing I know how to do right now.
Speaking of, Lewis here happened to be one of my newest clients, and he wanted to come and apologize to you for losing his temp.
Hold on, Arthur.
The man pulls Uncle in close to whisper something to him nervously. Why has Uncle befriended this man? He looks about as shifty as a Zayasan salesman. His eyes darting from me to Lau frantically.
Off we go to the Zayasa.
The Undercity. Another city-state located below Zenoa. It is mostly underground and receives very little sunlight. Its citizens are typically known for being a bit eccentric and having a wild streak to them. However, this is a stereotype that doesn't adequately describe many as Zayasan. Unlike Zenoa, Zayasa has a well-defined... Is there a D missing? I should just remove the cursor from... The cursor was fun for a while, but I'm getting rid of it. Zayasa has a well-defined attitude towards chaos response, inundating oneself with pleasure to numb any need for emotion whatsoever. It's frowned upon by those of other countries, especially Zenoa. But hey, it works. Sort of.
Curious.
Yes, of course they can, but... I didn't know. I'll make sure. I can barely make out Uncle's hushed replies. Judging from Lyle's smirk, I'm guessing it's relating to his presence.
Right, girl. Tyler, is it?
Twyla.
Tyler, yes. Alright. That was more where he was. So, the other day I was a little out of line. You see...
A little?
Fine. What I said was out of line. No two ways about it. You happy?
I looked at Uncle questioningly. Why under the flaring forces did he bring this fool here? Right. I'm absolutely blooming, thanks. Uncle and Lau glared daggers at Lewis.
Righto. Listen. Here's what happened, alright? That morning I'd just given my wife that ring as an anniversary gift and... she all but rejected it outright. Look, kid, I don't know the first thing about jewelry. I'm sure you can tell that. But seeing that look of disappointment on her face... Like I said, I brought her a necklace from here before and she loved it. So I reckon there'd be something wrong with that ring. And look, I don't know if that's on you or someone else, but... it's very weird. I don't know what the fuck his voice is when he's trying to not be shouting. That's the reason I nearly burned your store down in anger the other day. And let it be known to the skies that I'm sorry for doing that to you. I hope the 2 or 3 of you can accept that apology. And I'll be on my way.
Part of me wonders if this humble side of them would have surfaced if Lau's tracer uniform didn't carry the threat of a PRS investigation. But I quash the thought and reluctantly accept his apology.
My tongue isn't, it's failing me. And
It's the sound of me. I did a voice course last year, almost a year ago exactly now. I was given the tools that I haven't put to use. Maybe I will. Also, I apologize. I have a long way to go before I can match my mother's ability. I want to say more, but I feel a lump in my throat rising. Uncle casts a thoughtful gaze towards me, and I steady my breathing. You're not crying right now, Twyla. Uncle's the crier, after all, not me.
Hey.
How about you make another piece for this man, Twyla? A necklace this time, perhaps? Free of charge. I'll cover the costs. No, that's alright, Arthur.
That's alright, Arthur. I've done enough to the lass.
The problem is that voice is not natural for me, as you can tell. It's going places I quite never have been before. Anyway. I exchange glances with Uncle, then Lau. With their smiles egging me on, the least I can do is muster the resolve to put on a brave face. Of course! I get started on it right away. How long has this been? When do I stop? How long has this been? 40... Well, I don't know. Gold! Oh, we're doing this again? Cool. Nice, look at it, it's gold now. Ooh! That... I want to run my fingers across that. That is a fiddle toy waiting. Oh my god. It's already gorgeous. Alright, let's see. I don't know how I feel about this man anymore. Lewis, huh? Doesn't look like a Lewis. Option 1! He seems to care for his wife a lot. Maybe he isn't so bad. I don't know. Let's just forget it. I'll make something fancy looking and call it a day. No. He does. He does seem to care for his wife. We're gonna go for that one. I wonder what Lau was going to tell me just now. Whatever it is, talking with him is helping me take my mind off things. I'm glad. He tries to act aloof, that guy. Strange. I'm glad. I'm trying to think, because the way I'm not vocally explaining my choices and saying them enough, and I need to, because this is exactly the type of game and video that would be put on the background. So people would just be listening to the audio. Anyway, hi, if you're doing that, how you doing? I don't want to make things weird, I'm sorry, anyway. I can't believe Uncle ran into Lewis like that. Uncle's always been so good with people. How did I even read that? I read that in a way that makes it not make sense. I don't know how to make it make sense. I've always admired Uncle. He could always calm down Mom when he was stressed. When she was stressed. Oh, I wish I knew more about him. He's always evasive when I ask him about his work. I felt like I added an extra word there, but I didn't. Curious. I wish I knew more about him. That is fucking gorgeous. Fuck, I want that. I don't know when or where I would wear it, but I want it. God, I want it. The sun sets, making way for the rest of the stars to shine their brightest, amidst the rain that continues through it all. Thanks, Twyla. I'll try not to smash this one.
And look, if the missus doesn't fancy it, she'll have to deal with it, eh? Maybe it'll be an antique when you're Zenoa's ace jeweler. I feel like I've given them all the same pitch. You know? I'm going down to the same place. Well, that one's a bit. This is just better. I should not. This is what it should be. This feels better. This feels right. I shouldn't be trying to go there. Where even was I trying to go? I was trying to go somewhere where I shouldn't have gone. The man chuckles heartily. Seeing his complete reversal in mood scares me a little. But I manage to smile as they leave. Alright, Lau is still here. Lau comes back after leaving earlier on official tracer duty. So, you were saying? What happened last week, Lau? Sheesh. What was his voice? Sheesh. I don't even get a hi, how was work? I've literally completely forgotten. Who am I, your wife? Come on, tell me. Forces. Alright. Where was I? Last week, there was a case. Go on. Similar to yours, however, by the time I'd been alerted to it, the stakes had already become much higher. Tries to put an air of indifference, but I can feel that it bellies some deep-seated anguish. Give me all your anguish, mister. What were you tasked with resolving? It was this teenage boy. He'd fallen too far into the kind of thinking I'm trying to have you avoid now. Oh, fuck. Too hung up on feeling ashamed. Feeling as if he'd done something irredeemable wrong. Like there was this cage around his thoughts. Nothing else got through to him. No matter how hard we tried. No matter who I brought onto the job. That mental cage had been built and fortified over many tumultuous years. By the time we were assigned to the case, it was near impenetrable. Which is why I'm not letting this rainstorm as yours go on for any longer. He reaches for the bracelet, but I pull it away. Huh? What now? So, what happened to the boy? And what did his outburst cause anyway? What was it? Outburst? I feel like it is the words that would try to come out of my mouth. It's interesting. It doesn't matter. Point is, don't follow in his footsteps. It does matter. Oh yeah? Yeah, it does. I need to know what happened. The whole story. No details spared. And why's that? Because... Oh fuck! Choices! Is there a save option? Save! No, last save. How do I save? I can't. It's probably a situation where I can't save during a choice. Hi, I'm chiming in from Edit Land because I didn't read out the choices and I want to read out the choices. So, our choices were you're upset about it, or I could learn from his case, or I just want to know. Which will we pick? You'll find out in like a few seconds. Right when I start talking. You know, nowadays the cool thing to do, and it's been this way for many years at this point, the cool thing to do is like to just butt in the middle of the video, before the middle of the video, in like the first quarter of the video, and be like, if you want to subscribe and follow the story with me, I'd appreciate it. You're upset about it. Sorry, I didn't read out the choices. Wait, can I just go back? Can I scroll wheel back? Can I... There's no save. Where's the... Options! Accessibility, let me see. Ooh! Keyboard shortcuts, perfect. Auto, glossary, high text. I mean, that's not... None of that is safe. Dialogue for... Ooh, Ooh. Okay. Okay, well... What if I can't... Because you're clearly upset about it. How are you supposed to help me when you're distracted by your own feelings? That's what I was getting at earlier! Forces be damned. Fine. You win.
as you'd say. I just feel like maybe I'm not the only one in this store feeling confined by shame and guilt. You'd make a decent tracer.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm right. More or less. Though, if I didn't feel guilty over what happened to that kid. Is that... He didn't... Did he just not finish what he's saying? Fucking bastard. Fucking... I should try... Okay, well here's the thing. I've got to say I should try and censor myself in the way the game does and use bloomin' and shit and... Blummin' hell. That's... Look, that's more of a British term. Blummin', that is. Is that even... Brits, please don't come at me. Anyway. Regardless, I suppose you deserve to hear it from me after uncovering that much. So, this story's in short, but this is what happened. Hein? I like Hein. But Hein is... Would that be I before the... Hein. Hein was the boy's name. He'd recently dropped out of university at 19. Hein was as innocent as you are. A victim of little more than his own humanity, I'd say. He was lonely. That was the key emotion in play. And it had left him bedridden for many months. From my understanding, he felt completely isolated. I'm not entirely sure why. He couldn't even manage to pin down his state. Pin that down and... We couldn't even manage to pin that down in his state! Fuck! Man! What am I reading? My conjecture is that no one... Hein... knew cared enough to truly know him. To breach the walls that we naturally put up against those we don't trust enough. This kind of thing could happen to anyone, right? Even just out of circumstance. Yeah. I'd probably be in bed still if Loudon and barged straight through the walls I put up. First of those being the locked front door, of course. I need to read these more. There'd been small incidents for years. Witnesses told me their garden was always in a twisted disarray, which I'm sure you know is never a good sign. Yeah. He even told me about a time that he managed to get out of bed and take a bath. But his loneliness overcame him once more, and the water froze over entirely. And yet, there was not a single report. Payer's response only became aware of the case when the danger was at people's doors. But why? How under the forces can something as severe as that go unreported? His family must have noticed. They did. He wouldn't have been able to get himself out of the tub otherwise. So why didn't they report? I'll get to that soon. Xenoans are more flawed than you may think, Twyla. In any case, Hain's outburst possessed a natural force much closer to us than your rain clouds. Much closer to us than your rain clouds. It possessed a great old oak tree behind Zeno Square. Zeno Square? The one on the other side of the country? Yes. Us tracers travel constantly, though I do more than most. Anyhow, this tree started acting on the feelings of isolation and entered its spirit, entangling passers-by in its root. I don't like that word. If that's accurate, if that's a real word. The roots would snake up and around their body, all the way to their mouths and muffle their screams for help. What the fuck? It was gruesome. I haven't seen anything like it before. Some of the victims had horrible contusions. Contusions? What's a contusion? Oh god, wait, no, okay, I need to Google on my phone because the music, when I tab out, I'm gonna Google what a contusion is. Contusion, noun, medicine. A region of injured tissue or skin in which blood capillaries have been ruptured. A bruise. Cool. So, naturally, the space had to be cordoned off. Cordoned off? Cordoned off. Meanwhile, tracers were sent to find the source and create a plan of action. We called in doctors, psychiatrists, therapists, but none of their medicinal techniques worked. Then, we brought in other teens who'd suffered through outbursts, caring nurses, Haines' childhood friends, even paid actors. Paid actors? Needless to say, I wasn't a proponent of that decision. But even somewhat nonsensical measures can work at times. As you can tell, it was pure desperation. We were trying to find Haines someone, anyone that could get through to him in a meaningful way. No success whatsoever. He knew these were desperate interventions. And besides, everyone had already left him. His family and friends had all turned their back on him because of how regularly he risked chaos. Hain had been depressed for years, I was told afterwards. I'm so fucking... I have an internal battle going on in my head here, because I'm like, shit man, I want to do this seriously. I want to like, maybe actually not read these lines as they're written. And... God, that's a big decision to make. And it's so late into the fucking recording. This is like episode 2 by now, at least. So... Fuck! Hain had been depressed for years. I was told afterwards. His family pushed him away from therapy. What? Away from therapy? The people close to him were ashamed and fearful of what others would say. No. I feel the hope drain from my face. Ashamed? But it's not his fault! It's not like he wants to feel lonely! You seem quite outraged for someone who needed to be told this themselves mere hours ago. Sorry? It's not like you want to feel grief either, Twyla. Oh. Right. Besides, I'm sure you've noticed this double-edged stigma in Zenoa around emotions. Double-edged stigma? How Zenoans tend to ostracize those unable to control their emotions, as if they've done some great evil. Oh, right. So, you're saying while it helps to keep people from risking chaos, the stigma also harms those experiencing real difficulties controlling their emotions. Yes. It's an unfortunate reality for the city, but this has been the prevailing attitude since the times of Stoicism. What? Stoicism? Never mind. Can you understand now why I was so adamant you recognize urgently the dangers of fear and shame? I admit it. Meekly. Something about how indifferent he is when he's right ticks me off. I'd almost rather he were all "I told you so" about it. I feel like I read that as an "I told you so" way. Oh no. Regardless, I'm glad you're outraged. It's well placed, even if it shows a lack of self-awareness. Gee, thanks. See, that's better. You wouldn't believe how much this stigma complicates Payos' response on a daily basis. It's more difficult than ever to offer victims lasting help. 2 in 3 cases are repeat victims. Even the slightest of relapses in behavior are criticized by those around you. All this is meant in warning, not to scare you. It's not uncommon for Zenoans to be angered at the sight of a tracer alone. Forces. I'll try to keep that in mind. What were you saying earlier about Hain? Right. So, Hain's family pushed him away from professional help and treated him like a freak for years on end. It all makes me think. Why would the words of hired strangers take precedence over those drilled into him by his own blood? Regardless, I I tried several approaches too. I even got him to smile once. But in the end, the distance between us was too large to bridge so quickly. The softness of his pale blue eyes pierce through me as he talks, and I feel the tension dissipate from my body. The main impact our efforts had was in increasing Haynes' shame, which of course made him feel even more isolated. So the outburst would worsen. The oak tree's roots would reach out further, uprooting houses and businesses to find victims to ensnare. Consequently, Ian would grow more shameful, and his feelings would intensify. This cycle showed no signs of ending. Evacuation orders were sent to everyone within a 200-meter radius, and the community faced millions in damages. Naturally, people were infuriated. Many saw the boy's actions as intentional, or plain irresponsible, but invariably hostile. State officials were called to action. He had to be dealt with. There was no way around it. And now... now... Hayne doesn't feel anything anymore. Lau... I'm so sorry, Lau. His passion and anger for my situation makes perfect sense now. He can't suffer such a tragedy again. I hear you. I'll never let my situation get to that point. However you want to help me, I'll try my best to accept. Thank you. Sincerely. Perhaps some good can come of his suffering after all. Can I offer some words of solace, Lau? You can try. I focus on his story. Ah! Okay, we can pick his guilts and regrets, or his frustrations and concerns. I like his guilts and regrets. I focus on his guilt. The part of him that remains 1 week behind. Wondering how he could have acted differently. He's tried to hide it, but I can feel that it's there. And that it bothers him more than he cares to admit. Now, you should allow yourself to move past Haynes' case. I know you will always keep a part of this memory inside you. And honestly, I think that's a good thing. Remember the injustice. But where you can, you need to forgive yourself. I'm sorry for cutting in. I'm waiting for the day to end because I thought earlier like, alright, I'll end the episode when we get to like the next day. God, this is taking a while. Or the recording. I'm sure this is another episode has gone. Sure, but how? A teenage boy died under my watch because I couldn't do my job well enough. What's there to forgive? You yourself admitted that his case was already out of your hands. That the shame heaped on him had been too much to deal with. That's true, but... Lau, you can't blame yourself for not making miracles happen. It's just not reasonable. You're doing the right thing now. Trying to change how you work by spending time on my case before it becomes severe. And doing the right thing now is all you can do. So please forgive yourself. I feel lighter suddenly, as if some guilt of my own has just left my spirit. Twyla, honestly, I think you're right. Suddenly his head jolts up, and he begins eyeing the bracelet. It's in his box, suspiciously. He grabs it from the package and rapidly puts it on. Hey! Pay up first! You said double, remember? He blinks rapidly and takes a sharp intake of breath.
Huh?
Twyla, this...
Hey!
He looks up at me, his eyes filled with wonder. Wear it. What? Just wear it! I put in the bracelet, and the cool... I chose silver, thank you very much! I put in the bracelet, and the cool silver against my arm sends shivers down my spine. I feel a hint of guilt that differs slightly from my own. Only now do I realize that minutes ago I felt an intense wave of this exact shame of guilt as I spoke to Lau. Wait a second. These are your feelings. I feel them.
Hey!
I knew it wasn't just me. Twyla! How did that... What is this? You must be a conduit. There's no other explanation. A conduit? A bridge between two spirits. You've taken the payers from my feelings and enchanted this bracelet with them. Me? No way! I did this? But I didn't even do anything! Maybe you weren't aware of the process, but it was entirely your doing all the same. I'm sure of it. You can enchant jewelry with chaos. Can I really?
Yeah!
Yeah! You bet you can. Twyla, you're an enchantress. Okay. Okay, we got an achievement. We're an enchantress. That sounds like a good ending point. I'm far away from the microphone. How's it going? I have to talk louder now. Anyway, how's it going? So that was... Well, it's not the end. What's this game called? Hue? Well, I'm not gonna check. Hue? There's hue in there. Hue of you. There's a word that I'm missing. The hue. E? It starts with E. E. Every hue of you. This was every hue of you. Thank you for watching. It's not over. I need to come back to this. I hope I come back to this. If I don't, I'm gonna slap my ass. And I'm not gonna feel good about it. Anyway. Okay. I like this. I like this. I'm enjoying this so far, and I hope you are too. And I hope that comes across. So... Yes. Thank you for watching. If you're like, man, I want the next episode. Why isn't it out yet? Maybe, if you haven't, I've recorded another visual novel a couple years ago called Find Love or Die Trying, and I had a great time with that one. It's a bit more vulgar. From me. The visual novel itself isn't vulgar. I'm more vulgar in it. But that's a good option for you. You can check that out. I would greatly appreciate it. And yeah. Remember the buttons. Dare I say it? Subscribe for more. Ew. No, please, if you'd like to, it'd be nice. I'd appreciate it. God, okay, now I feel like I'm asking too much. Go away, leave, please. I need to balance it out. Fuck you. Sorry. I don't mean it. You're the greatest. Okay. How do I save? I can load last save, but did it save? Wait, there was a saving icon. It saved itself. So we end the game. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Have a nice... Good move tonight. Good move tonight. That's good.